need to go to our downriggers. So as I was saying, these Digitrol 10s, they work great. They're fast. You can preset them. You can have up to 5 presets, so you can set it to go down 5 feet, 10 feet, 100 feet, 120 feet. You just hit the button, loosen your drag on your reel, and let it go down. You could let it do whatever, you know, do that. It has an auto up feature, so you just hit the button, it'll fly back up at you at 250 feet per minute, which was way too fast for me, in my opinion, because it was going so fast that sometimes the wire would almost bird nest up on itself sometimes. So went through the settings, slowed it down, went from speed 5 in its settings to speed 2. Still brings it up fairly quickly for us, but we didn't get any more bird's nest on our spool anymore, so that was a big help there. Another great feature on these downriggers are it has a almost like a jigging setting where you can set the depth on your downrigger to be at 70 feet, and then you set the depth to be at 65 feet, and then you set the interval setting to say 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds the downrigger will automatically adjust your cannonball height or your line, wherever you have it clamped down on the cable at, up and down those 5 feet in that 30 seconds. So that's another thing to do if you're having a slow day, you need to get a fish strike or something, you're marking fish but they're not biting, maybe that's something that you can use to entice them. So that was another cool feature that they had on it. One other feature with these is you can buy a transducer for these downriggers and hook it on your boat, and it has a bottom track setting on it, which will allow you to set your cannonball to a certain number of feet away from the bottom. So say that's 100 feet down, you want it 20 feet off the bottom. You can control wherever you want, and this thing will automatically keep your cannonball 20 feet off the bottom. So you go to 120 feet, it'll go down to 100 feet. Go up to 60 feet, it'll come up 40 feet. Greatly, you gotta keep track of what's going on and pay attention, because you'll get slack in your line or it'll pull line out and you don't want to think of a false strike or something like that. So, but that's another cool feature that they have to offer. It would make really good sense to have that, say, for lake trout fishing. If you want to keep it like a couple feet off the bottom, it'd be a great source to have that. And one last feature they have, which we do not have set up either, is the function of a hummingbird graph and cannon, where they can talk to each other. You can see on your hummingbird graph what the depth is at, and you can also automatically send it up if you need be on the hummingbird graphs. So that is everything that I need to talk about these downriggers. So, but what also is connected to the downrigger is our fish hawk, which I don't have out here right now, but we have the monitor up here. The fish hawk here is probably one of our most important tools to have on the boat. It gives us our speed down at the ball, temperature. The biggest thing with salmon fishing is they're very temperature dependent, and there's the online website for the Great Lakes buoys. It can tell you the temperature and whatnot, but I found that it's usually pretty spot on. Their buoys are spot on, but there's days where an hour later from what it was refreshed to, it's different, and you don't know which way the current's going. So having a fish hawk, very important. Now the way it's set up for us, monitors here have your power cable and your transducer cable, which the transducer we had running down the gunnel all the way back to the transducer, and that's where we had it at the back of the boat back there set up for the frequency. So another cool thing about this fish hawk is it is the Fish Hawk X4D. There is an app you can get on your phone which allows you to then monitor the fish hawk screen on your phone, or even on your say tablet if you wanted to set it up somewhere else in the boat and have another screen to look at your fish hawk, so you don't always have to look up here. You can put a screen back there, you can set it up there, and you can see what it's reading there on your phone or tablet at the back of the boat, which is a really nice feature. And then another thing that I like about it is you can keep a catch log. You just say log, go to your catch log, and then you can record down the fish you catch. You can tell them what you caught it on. For example, this one. Presentation method, diver, the species fish caught, rainbow trout, lure, a spoon, color, KC1, 2, probe, depth, 12 feet, 2 miles per hour. So the thing that I had to struggle with was I always forgot to log the catch as the fish would strike, because we were all so excited when a fish would strike that I forget to log it. So normally I would bring the probe up if it was off of that downrigger, which here it happened to be, and the probe was only down 12 feet, which I do remember that fish was down roughly like 60-70 feet. So anyway, there's that feature, and it's very, very handy to have. Fish hawk is probably a must-have on your boat if you're going to get serious into the salmon, lake trout, and steelhead fishing world. So to go from there, our Garmin. This is our map. This is our depth finder. This is our fish finder, everything. This is the Garmin 9.3 SV. We went with the 9.3 SV due to the fact that the 9.4 is more of your coastal waters like the oceans. The 9.3 is for your Great Lakes. It's already programmed with a depth maps for the Great Lakes specifically. This thing is a 9-inch screen, hence the 9 in the number. This thing, it reads great. We had no issues with it. It showed us our fish down below. It kept our course, or showed us our course we were going. Gave us a great topographical map of the water where we're fishing. Left waypoints, keep our track going. We can delete our waypoints, change them, modify them, whatever you want. It worked great. So to go with that Garmin, we have this Garmin here, which is our autopilot. This was added recently. We do have our video on the YouTube channel how that was all installed and hooked up. That thing was quite helpful this year. My dad and I stopped fighting as much with that thing, as a lot of people will say autopilots, they'll save relationships, and definitely this made my dad and I not fight as much about, hey, don't go that way, hey, go that way, hey, the boat's turning, you're gonna take up the lines. Yeah, all that commotion all came with that, so that was a lot of fun. So, but yeah, that's all rigged up in here, and these two talk to each other. It talks to the autopilot down below. That is hooked up to a Octopus Type R drive unit, and that is what the power source is for steering the rudder, or I should say the stern drive at the back of the boat. And so go through our regular maintenance, go through that thing, make sure everything's working and ready for next year.